You ever have one of those days where your whole life can turn inside out before breakfast? That was me sitting on the porch of my grandfather's old lake cabin, clutching the arms of my chair so hard my knuckles went white, while two animal control officers aimed catch poles at Murphy, my golden retriever, my guide dog, my literal eyes. The sheriff stood there looking uncomfortable, and I was shaking so bad I thought my voice might crack in half as I tried to explain, he's a service dog, he's not dangerous, he's trained, he's all I've got. But then there's Karen Witherspoon, president of the Spruce Pines HOA, pointing and shrieking that Murphy lunged at her, that she feared for her life, painting him as some monster instead of the dog who's never let me down. You know what I mean? It was surreal, almost funny if it hadn't been so damn terrifying. They radioed for backup, if the dog resists. I heard that and my heart dropped. I tried again, telling them, I'm blind, this dog is everything. Karen just folded her arms, staring like she could will me out of existence, saying it didn't matter if I was blind, Murphy was a menace and my cabin stuck out like a sore thumb. That's when the officer said they were taking my dog. My throat closed up, but Murphy growled deep and low, a warning, a line in the sand. Karen screamed even louder, and in that moment, everything changed. Let me back up a sec. My name's Jonathan Miller. I'm 41, and I used to be a firefighter until an explosion took my sight. This old Missouri cabin belonged to my granddad. I fixed it up myself, one board at a time, and Murphy's been with me the whole way. He fetches my meds, keeps me from face-planting on the trail, alerts me to everything sometimes before I even realize I need it. He's the reason I made it, to be honest. But you move in full-time and, well, small stuff starts piling up. Somebody dumped a stack of HOA newsletters on my porch, even though my cabin wasn't even technically in their jurisdiction. Then I got a note, paint your deck the right color or expect a visit. I figured it was just teenagers messing around. Except it wasn't. It was Karen. Blonde bob sunglasses attitude like she owns the oxygen. She lived across the hill and ran the HOA like her own little kingdom, even bossing around folks not in the HOA. One morning I'm walking Murphy to the mailbox. She stops me. You shouldn't have that dog off leash, she snaps. I'm like, he's in a harness. He's a guide dog. I'm blind. She just sniffs. Well, he startled me. You people need to keep things under control. I swallowed my words. Next thing I know, bright red stickers slapped across my door, animal nuisance under investigation. Murphy never barked unless something was wrong, never growled. He's a working dog, gentle as they come. I called the sheriff. They said ignore it. HOA can't touch you. So I tried to laugh it off until Karen showed up again, hand-delivering 37 HOA citations, unauthorized fence, improper mailbox, dangerous animal barking complaints, unkempt shed. Most of it was just made up. I don't even have a mailbox and my shed is a smokehouse. But what rattled me was how specific the details were. Someone was watching me close. At night I set up motion alarms, and Murphy started sleeping with his head pointed at the door. One night I smelled cheap perfume and cigarette smoke coming from the porch. Karen, what are you doing here? I called out, not even opening the door. She hissed back about official complaints and my dangerous animal. The next morning, Murphy's leash was cut and dangling from the porch rail. That's when I realized Karen wasn't just annoying, she was dangerous. I got cameras and my friend Tara, a vet from town, one of the few who actually likes Murphy, helped set them up. Then a week later, animal control showed up about complaints of a vicious animal. I handed them Murphy's papers, registration, everything. They said they'd be back, and they were this time with the sheriff and Karen herself. That's when the standoff happened. But here's the twist, right when they tried to take Murphy, he lunged, not at the officers, but into the trees behind Karen. Out comes this teenage kid, slingshot in hand, Murphy's cut leash on his belt. Karen starts yelling, but the kid, Dylan, turns out says, she paid me to scare the blind guy's dog. You could hear a pin drop. Karen calls him a liar, but Tara, who just pulled up, says, hang on, I've got trail cam footage. She shows them. Sure enough, there's Dylan cutting the leash. Karen whispering off screen. Do it quick. The officers and sheriff look at her and suddenly the tables have turned. They say, "Ma'am, you just staged an attack on a service dog. That's a felony." Karen goes white. "I just wanted to live in peace. I told them I lost my sight saving 2 kids. I came here to heal, not fight." Karen's dragged away, but she screams from the car, "This isn't over." And well, she wasn't wrong. Next morning, I'm on the dock with my coffee when Murphy bolts barking, then a splash, then the roar of an engine and a crash. Karen's voice. "Maybe you should have left when I told you cut through the fog." She wasn't alone this time. Some guy with her rough voice says, "I thought you said this guy was harmless." My stomach dropped. Murphy's barking, but it's muffled. Something's wrong. I hit the silent alarm. They demand I sign over my property, threaten to sue to take Murphy. I yelled for them to leave, but suddenly I'm knocked to the ground. Karen's faking tears, screaming that Murphy attacked her partner. Sirens in the distance, and the 2 of them take off. I find Murphy shaking, but okay. Sheriff and Tara show up. Karen's tried to forge a deed claiming the cabin was sold to the HOA. Tara flips it over. It's fake. The notary on maternity leave. The county files the deed anyway, but we have the originals and the cameras show everything. That night, the piece is broken by a fire under the porch. Smoke, gas, can the works. Tara and I barely escape as the sheriff arrives, and he charges in to save the fireproof box with the original deed. We get to the courthouse, and there's Karen and the developer Bryce, slick suit, fake smile. They're filing for an emergency injunction, calling me a squatter. We throw down all the evidence, trail cam, audio, paperwork. Judge grants an emergency restraining order, nullifies the forged deed, and blocks any HOA action. But Karen files a civil suit trying to get Murphy declared dangerous, seeking damages for community unrest. She's coming after everything: my land, my dog, my life. That's when Tara's friend Eliza, a disability rights attorney, calls. "We're not just defending Murphy, we're going after the whole operation." Turns out the notary in the county clerk's office, Clara, is on the take bank records, tie her to Bryce's company. This was a land grab scheme, pure and simple, and Murphy was just their excuse. In court, the judge sees through it all. Murphy's declared a protected service dog. The deed's nullified. Karen gets probation and a ban from any HOA leadership. Bryce faces criminal charges, and the HOA loses all claims on properties outside their boundaries. Clara gets arrested. My cabin's mine again. The porch is rebuilt. The air is fresh, and for the first time in months, I feel safe. Murphy, loyal as ever, lies at my feet. But as the sun sets, Tara leans over, grinning. "You and Murphy are internet famous now." I laugh. "Let folks know you don't mess with a man's dog, especially when that dog is his eyes." But my phone buzzes, a blocked number, a message from Bryce. "You may have stopped her, but I'm not done yet." And that's the thing about snakes. They wait for you to get comfortable, then strike when you least expect it. So tell me, what would you have done in my shoes? Where do you draw the line between defending your home and letting go? Let me know in the comments, because this fight's bigger than me. It's about justice, community, and standing your ground, even when you can't see what's coming next. And hey, if you believe in second chances, loyalty, or just plain doing what's right, share your thoughts below. Let's talk about what real community looks like, because I'm pretty sure it's not run by people like Karen.